guy came over and stayed with us that first night. I slept in the middle of my parents' double bed between my two aunts. When I got up in the morning, I could see her blood. They had changed the sheets and everything, but they couldn't do anything about the mattress. I was lying in the same spot where my mother had bled to death less than 24 hours ago. Oh God, I never told anyone this before. I think I never will again, or even think about it, because it hurts too much. Without crying, I feel like I'm 12 again instead of 71. I need water. So we need you to vote to help us canvass and make abortion safe and legal and protect a person's right.
Next on the mic, we have Judy.
Hello, everybody. I'm looking around the crowd and I see a lot of different ages, but a lot of younger people who weren't around when abortion was illegal. And I need to tell you a little bit about my story. I'm not a storyteller, but I'm a truth teller. It was 1970, I guess. Then it was before, 69. And I found myself pregnant, single. Thank goodness I had a boyfriend who was totally supportive, but there was no place to get a safe, legal abortion. I was in Washington, D.C. We called everyone we knew. There was a rumor that always went around there was someone in Pennsylvania who would do it, but nobody ever knew who that was. We did get a phone number and called it and scheduled an illegal abortion. I was picked up on a street corner blindfolded, taken to a house in Northeast Washington. I had no idea really, other than that, where I was. It was painful. It was, thank goodness, clean and sanitary as far as I could tell. But the pain was unbelievable. There were 4 other women sitting outside in the living room. It was a house. 4 other women sitting outside in the living room waiting their turn for this procedure. It was one of the most horrific things I have ever been through, and I have pledged my life all this time to make sure it doesn't happen to anyone else. So for those of you who don't remember those times, those of you who weren't alive at those times, this is the result. That's what happens to people, to women, when there is no choice. Amen. So please continue the fight. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Judy. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm wearing white in honor of the suffragettes. 100 years ago, in 1920, women got the right to vote in the United States because Tennessee put them over. So, yay. 100 years ago, women couldn't even vote. And I'm also here because this is my granddaughter. She lives in Alabama. She will never go to a back alley looking for somebody with a coat hanger as long as I have breath in my body. Thank you.
Next up, we have Burdell.
I'm Burdell Campbell, and I believe if I've counted right, I've been doing this 60-odd years. I've had the joy and the fright and the struggle with being a board president, but the privilege of being on the national board for 6 years. And all along the way, we make these reasoned statements, and we talk to people, and we think they know we're reasonable people, and then these things happen. But don't think that this is the first time this fight has gone on, because it was tough to ever get a Planned Parenthood organization anywhere in the South. So it's been a battle, and I don't like it any better just because I've had so many of those battles, but thank God you're here. And my granddaughter with me at one rally. This was the church 2004 rally in Washington, and my husband was there with me then, and his sign said, "Grandfathers for Choice."
Thank you so much, Burdell. Do we have other folks who want to come forward and speak? Yes.
Thank you. My name is Ken, and I don't know what I'm going to say. It's just that it's so important that men understand that the courage is not to sit in the State House and pass a law that offers a ban for choice. The courage is to come out to a place like this and say, we won't take it anymore. So not only do I applaud everyone that's here, but may I just please say to my brothers, we have the opportunity to have this conversation with one another. We can't back away from that. We can't come here and see what people are doing to make things happen, to make choice happen, to keep choice alive. And then when we get in a group, pretend like we didn't hear this. So please, my brothers, if you will, go out, you talk to one another. Get other men to come out on days like this, and let us all show together. Because together we can make choice remain the law in the United States.
Thank you so much, everybody. I know we have some folks who remember what it is like pre-1973, pre-Roe. So do we want to have those folks come up and say a word?
Somebody had spoken to me. There were some folks that wanted.
Oh, we got it? Okay, cool. Other voices, yes. Let's do you first and then Roger. Yes, excellent.
Hi, my name is Faith. As a surviving rape victim, more than one occasion, we must protect our girls. Periods these days start at a very young age. Rape is real. Incest is real. We must protect our girls. We must protect our girls. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I can't get pregnant, I can't have an abortion, but I saved and helped save the woman's life who had given herself an abortion. Yes, with a proverbial hanger. Very good friend of my wife in 1972, a year before Roe versus Wade, was desperate. She used a hanger to try to abort herself and was bleeding to death when she called us. We drove as fast as I could to her home, took her to her emergency room, and she lived. Banning abortion kills women.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Doreen, and I did not have an abortion. I'm sorry. I said my name is Doreen, and I did not have an abortion. But what I did have was pain ever since I was 10 years old when I first got my period. I knew something was wrong, and I would go to the doctors and they wouldn't believe me. They would just say, oh, you know the story. Suffer through it. Well, at age 23, I went to a doctor. He was a male doctor. And I told him I wanted to have a hysterectomy. He said, no, I'm not going to do it. And I said, why not? And he said, because you may want to have babies someday. And I told him that the pain I had, I know I cannot have children. So I continued to suffer on. And at age 33, I went to another doctor. I found a female doctor. And she decided that she would examine me. I did all sorts of tests, and she went ahead and did the procedure. The hysterectomy, at age 33, that was supposed to take maybe an hour, hour and a half. It took almost 6 hours because my colon was stuck to my ovaries. I had been suffering all that time. And that is why I'm here today.
Hi, my name is Margaret. I'm naturally loud, so I expect you to hear me. In 1968, my younger sister was fresh out of Holy Names High School. I was 2 years out of Holy Names High School. My mother was many years out of Holy Names High School. My mother had 12 children, Irish Catholics, and my sister, the summer of her graduation, became pregnant and wanted to have an abortion. Well, the whole family, of course, being good Irish Catholics, went absolutely crazy, except for my mother, who said, God damn it, don't have a kid you don't want. She said, we're supposed to love children. I love children. But my body could not handle 12 children, and we could not handle having 12 children in our family. Look what it's done to us. We can't even be pleasant half the time. Believe me, that was true. So my sister carted off with my older sister to Mexico and had an abortion, and we were all really, really scared. And to show the contradictions that we all live with, we sat around saying the rosary that this abortion in another country would be safe and she would be okay. And the only thing we need to do was to say the rosary. And luckily, time and situation has evolved, and I call on the spirits of my sisters for all of us to show up for each other and for our bodies. And I had 2 babies, yay. Bye.
I have a spoken word that I wrote with the other handmaid over there. So. They were 7, 12, and 15. 3 years old. She was 3 years old. I'm watching you making jokes about it across the room. You don't think I see it, but I do. You can't even begin to empathize. She was 3 years old. She was old enough to buy a child's ticket at the movie theater. She was 12. A freshman in high school. I was a freshman in high school. 26 of my sisters. 26 of my sisters. 26 of my sisters, and when you're a star, they let you do it. I don't think they're grasping the gravity of this situation, because 26 of my sisters, 26 of my sisters, 26 of my sisters, I am not going to shut the fuck up about this, so while I have your attention, might I remind you that 26 of my sisters, 26 of my sisters, 26 of my sisters, the statistic says 1 in 4, but that seems impossibly low to me, because we are living in a world where 26 of my sisters have been touched. 26 of my sisters have been touched. 26 of my sisters have been touched, and I can guarantee that absolutely none of us wanted it. So fuck you, Donald John Trump. Fuck you, Brett Kavanaugh. Fuck R. Kelly and Weinstein and Oz and Merle done with your bullshit.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Hi, my name is Chris, and I'm an incest survivor. When I was 12, my father and my uncle started raping me, and I assumed that I could get pregnant, and fortunately I didn't. However, at that age, I decided I had two choices. I would have a baby or I would kill myself. I decided I would kill myself. What you have to know about abortion is that in the absence of free and available and legal abortion, you don't just die from an illegal abortion. You die because the other option for young women who are uninformed is suicide. Remember that. We are talking about the death of people who are victims who should not ever have to make those kinds of decisions.
Good afternoon. My name is Cassandra Anello. I am an activist with Women's March Tennessee. Thank you everybody for being here, for organizing Stop the Ban across the country. We know why we're here. We know that women's rights are human rights and human rights are women's rights. What we need to do to come together. For 2020, we need to organize and have politicians elected in our House that care about our bodies. Specifically, who is in House District 6, Micah Van Huss's office. We need to, he's the one behind the heartbeat bill. We need to get that sniveling puke vomit voted out of office. So register to vote, canvass for amazing progressive politicians, Jennifer Benoit among the ones she was here earlier. So yeah, let's keep fighting the good fight because we're not done. All right.
I want to thank everybody who's come forward and spoken thus far. I think we should take a moment and just appreciate the collective wisdom that is in this space right now. The experiences of folks who share their stories pre-Roe, the women and the folks who have shared stories of rape and incest. These issues, our issues, are all interconnected, and we need to appreciate that. Do we have any other folks who would like to come forward and speak? If y'all want to start moving to the front so we can just kind of pick you. I also want to do one housekeeping, that we do have water. I want y'all to be safe and hydrated. We have water up here if you are feeling dehydrated.
Hi everybody. I'm going to withhold my name, but I will say that I was born in '73. I think that's an awesome year, don't you? And I also like to say this is my first protest I've ever attended. So, not my last, definitely not. And my wardrobe will be totally pink after this. So I have a pre-Roe and a post-Roe story. I'll try to make it quick. So my mother, in the late 60s, she got pregnant outside of marriage, which was a big no-no. So she gave herself an abortion with a coat hanger. And luckily she survived. There was no, major physical trauma because I came along afterwards. But I wish I could get into a time machine and go back and help her and be with her, but I can't. So this is my tribute to her today. Fast forward many years, when I was in high school, many moons ago, several of my friends got pregnant in their senior year, and thank God that they had a choice. They decided to go ahead and get abortions, and I can tell you that they wouldn't be where they are today had they not had that option. And I provided transportation, and I helped them find resources, and that is something that I will continue to do with my friends or any woman that comes up to me till the day I don't have any breath in my body. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Shannon, and I'm a mother. I've never had an abortion. I've never been in a position where I thought I needed one. I had one baby because I made her very specifically, and she's the joy of my life. She's also going to be 11 years old this year. And I have a few things to say. One, I lived in Mississippi for 12 years where they tried to do this, and let me tell you, it was voted down, and they thought this whole landslide was going to start there. This is, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, maybe longer. But it was voted down, and it was voted down by doctors, and it was voted down by Republican women who came around and realized what was going on. But my daughter's 11 years old. I'm going to tell you a very quick story about going to see Wonder Woman in the movie theaters when it came out. And there's a scene, I'm sorry if I'm spoiling this for you, but there's a scene where Wonder Woman goes to Parliament in London, and it stops everything dead in its tracks. And my daughter was maybe 7, and she stood up in the movie theater, and she turned around and she looked at me and she said, "What's the big deal?" I said, "Well, 100 years ago, women weren't allowed in Parliament," and she was completely baffled. And she stood there looking at me and said, "Well, why?" And I said, "Well, because they thought we were irrational and that we were full of emotion, and that we get a period and therefore we are dangerous, because your period is a kind of power. That's where babies come from." And I remember saying that, and we didn't talk about it too much after that. She was baffled. She's very, very strong, very bright, and she let that sink in. And recently, she's now in the junior high, she recently said to me one day, "When do you think I'll get my powers?" And I thought, yes. As much as this is about abortion, this is also about loving your body, being in charge of your body, and changing the taboos that go around all of it. The word taboo means dirty, means period, means meant through blood. That's the nature of the term taboo. We have to change that. They have they're doing active work in India with that idea. We have to do that here. Start calling it your powers and start celebrating it. Little girls if this does happen, if this does go down and we go back to the dark ages and we're living under this crazy type of biblical law that worked 2,000 years ago and no longer is relevant in the modern world, if that does come back and that does happen, what we have to do is arm our little girls and our little boys with knowledge, understanding their powers, and you have to start little. They don't want you to have access to abortion. They don't want you to have access to this sexual education. Well, then what do they want? They don't want to take care of these babies that show up. What do they want? They want prisoners. They want slaves. In Mississippi, they arrest teenage girls for miscarriages and charge them with second-degree murder, and they put them in jail. These girls have been raped. There's drugs in their system. Not once do we find out where the drugs came from. Not once do we find out who raped them. And no, there's no such thing as consensual rape.
I have to rearrange my paradigms here because there's so many older white men here. Thank you so much, but I was on a big hate train for white men when I saw all the people voting for, who the people were actually voting for these stupid bans. Oh, sorry. I'm always told I'm too loud. One of the options that I think we could instill as law is, what if the guys who are actually having sex with the women are made to contribute to, to the upkeep of the children? Maybe that would change some decisions. But until we hold the men accountable, I don't even think we should be talking about limiting abortion. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Bridget. I'm a rape and an incest survivor. I was raped by my stepfather from the ages of 9 to 17. And I was told that if I ever told anyone, that no one would ever believe me. So I kept quiet and I never told anyone. Luckily, I never got pregnant. What they're doing in Alabama and states all around the South. Is that rapists have more rights than the women who are raped. Fuck them! And I guarantee that half of the men who voted for the abortion ban had paid their mistresses to have an abortion. Fuck them too. Rich white men will continue to have abortions. Fuck them. It's poor people. It's people of color. They're the ones who will not be able to have abortions. It's all of us who won't be able to have abortions. So they can sit up there in their ivory towers and make laws about people. And control all of us.
We're gonna keep fighting!
Yes. And I just want to say thank you to all of you for coming out here and supporting me and supporting all of the other rape and incest survivors.
Thank you, everybody. There's been so much pain that has been shared today, so much vulnerability. And so I would love for us at this time to say one collective, we believe you. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
We believe you!
We believe survivors. We believe women. We believe trans folks. We believe non-binary folks. Our fight is larger than abortion. It is about bodily autonomy and control over our bodies. There is nothing pro-life about forcing someone to carry a pregnancy. In that spirit, I ask you to move to action. You are here today. That is the first step. I implore y'all to get involved with organizations like Indivisible, the ACLU, Planned Parenthood. Support your local abortion fund. Support organizations like Healthy and Free Tennessee. I want to call on women, specifically white women, to talk to your relatives. 53% of white women voted for Trump. It's not acceptable. I call on y'all to have hard conversations with your family, your friends, and your loved ones. We will continue to fight at the State House. We need y'all to fight in your communities and your house. With that, I want to invite everybody who is here to come stand on the steps. We are going to get a picture, and I want to thank y'all for coming once again. Thank you so much.